Hello everyone, Donnie Wanders here, and today I have wandered to the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes Wilderness Area in Halifax, Nova Scotia. This trail starts at the end of Collins Road with kind of I'm walking up a big hill already. You can see there's lots of cars here, so I suspect there's lots of people using this trail today. It's kind of a cloudy day. It's actually raining just a little bit right now. And it's about 6 degrees, but there's hardly any wind, so I think that it's a really good day to get out on a trail. There's not going to be any bugs out today, and hopefully we won't get too sweaty. Urban wilderness areas like this are always, so interesting to me because the city is like right there. You can hear traffic, there's lots of buildings, but then you look this way and you see these like cool giant rocks, and it's nothing but forest and really, really difficult terrain. Except for the trail. The trail is relatively easy, lots of rocks, and it's uneven terrain, but not terribly difficult. But this is, I haven't been here before. And it's really, really close to kind of everything in Halifax. So I'm not surprised that there were so many cars in the parking lot today, just because there's so many people who live very close to this trail. I'm just cruising along on the trail here and came upon these buildings that are on the lake. This is the Maskwa Aquatic Club. So I'm thinking it's a paddling club. I'm not really sure what it is. But this would be another easy place to access these trails. And here is a parking area. Not sure if this is part of the Maskwa Aquatic Club parking. And the end of the trail, or I guess the far end of the trail, because it loops up into the woods that way. So we will keep going on this loop trail, see where it takes us next. And by the way, I'm not just wandering aimlessly through the woods hoping to find trails. I know that there are lots and lots. There's a whole network of trails in here because this is part of the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Wilderness Area, which is a huge area of mostly protected wilderness, and lots of hiking trails. Apparently some of them are quite well marked and well defined, like the one that I'm on right now. Some other ones not so much. I think this wilderness area just got designated as a wilderness area in the last couple of years. So it's a relatively new designation, and trails are not necessarily well marked. However, like I said, I'm not just wandering aimlessly. I know that there are trails in here, and I'm using an app to track my path, and that app is called the Backroads Mapbook app, or the BRMB app, and it's similar to a lot of other GPS tracking apps. It shows like the network of trails, and you can hit record and it records your track and that sort of thing. And of course, All Trails is another very popular app that these trails are all marked on as well. All Trails is completely free. The BRMB app is a subscription service, and I bought a copy of both. You get a book with like a big map book of various trails and adventures, and that book also came with a free subscription to the app. So that's what I'm using right now. And I've just started quite a descent uphill. Let me show you that. And there's a little critter on the trail being naughty, I think. So this is a fairly steep incline, and there's a little squirrel up here who is just mucking about with the rope. He was just chewing. He's taken off now that I've approached, but he was just chewing on that rope. Oh! And now he's yelling at me. So now that he's gone, I'm going to use this rope to haul myself up this. This is very steep here. So I've just wandered up to Charlie's Lake. I am completely unfamiliar with Charlie's Lake, but it's really pretty. And I wanted to show you this tree. I always forget about these trees until the fall. So this is a larch or a hackmatack or a tamarack. They seem to be the same tree that all have that have 3 different names. And they're an evergreen tree, or they're a coniferous tree, but in the fall they turn bright yellow, and they're really pretty. And I think they're probably the only coniferous tree, softwood tree, that does turn, has needles like a pine tree or a fir tree, but turns bright yellow. It's just really lovely. I love all the muted colors on that rock over on the other side of the lake there. I'm coming up to a fairly muddy section of the trail, and there have been a few pockets of these along the trail where it's like quite muddy. Lots of rocks here, so I should be able to hop over, but I just wanted to show you what I'm wearing on my feet today, my trail runners. So I had a feeling that the trail might be a little bit muddy in places, but I opted to wear trail runners because I just really prefer them to hiking boots, and made it through that section without getting wet. And my other fail-safe with my trail runners is that I brought my waterproof socks. So if my shoes get wet, I'll just take off my regular socks, my regular hiking socks, put on my waterproof socks, and then my feet still won't be wet. So that's a little tip for you if you're out in the woods. You don't have to wear waterproof socks if they're not your favorites, like mine. My favorites are the darn tough merino socks, but you can always just, if you're carrying a pack, throw your waterproof socks in your pack and put them on only if it's necessary to keep your feet toasty, warm, and dry. I know I touched on my navigation a little bit today, but I just wanted to revisit it here. I would strongly suggest that if you come out to explore these this network of trails, that you use some sort of app. All Trails is an excellent app, but or the Backroads Mapbook app, which is my preferred app. But if you want a free app, I would say All Trails, I do believe, has the capability to track your path so that you can't get lost. And it also, there's little dotted lines that show you where all the trails are. I feel like it would be a little bit overwhelming for a beginner hiker to come in here and not have some kind of navigation system with them. Map and compass obviously would be good, but I think you'd have to be fairly skilled at the map and compass in order to use it in here. It would be a lot of checking bearings and that sort of thing, so that may not be your best option for an urban park like this. The other thing, I guess, is if you have a really good sense of direction, perhaps you wouldn't need any kind of navigation. So I'll be very quiet for a second. You may be able to hear traffic is that way. So even if you have no map, no compass, if you were to get lost in here, you could probably bushwhack your way towards the noise and get yourself found relatively easily. But that's, getting lost is not, it's not really that fun. So I don't really recommend that. But definitely if you're looking for a trail that's close to the city, or a system of trails that are close to the city, this is a really good option. It really feels like you're hiking. Most of the sections of the trail are pretty easy, with a few difficult climbs, and you have to climb over rocks, but they're few and far between for the portion of this park that I explored today. So thumbs up from me. And it really is a beautiful, other than the city noise, it really feels like you're way out in the woods out here today. And just like that, I have emerged from the woods and I'm back at the parking area. That was a relatively short hike for me. I hiked for about 3.5 kilometers. It was I would say a moderate hike. Most of it was pretty easy, but there were definitely a few areas that were rocky, muddy, and a couple of like really steep climbs. But a really pleasant experience, and I can't wait to come back because there's like thousands or 1,000 more acres or 1,000 more hectares of this wilderness area for me to explore. So that's it for me for today. Thank you for watching, and Donnie Wanders. We'll see you in the next one.